Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Destiny board Dark Necrofear deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play with, to be able to go off with Destiny board and win with its win condition, which is absolutely insane. I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys, so without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Cursed Necrofear. This card is an amazing 2-of boss monster that has the ability that cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned by a card effect. And you can target 3 of your banished fiend monsters to special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, shuffle those banished monsters into the deck, which is a really awesome thing to be able to just summon this card by also recycling some of your resources. And during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed in your monster zone by an opponent's card and sent there this turn, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, then destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of face-up spells and traps that you control with different names. And you only affect this card once per turn, but that's an amazing ability because the cards that we're going to have that are continuous spells and traps are going to be our Destiny board and spirit messages, which is amazing that we can pop cards on the field based on basically the amount of spirit messages that we've acquired to win the game. We then play a single copy of Dark Necrofear. Dark Necrofear is a really awesome old school boss monster, and this card is super easy to summon out to your side of the field by just banishing 3 fiend monsters from your graveyard. We then play 2 copies of Dark Spirit of Banishment. This card is really cool as a 2-of in the build because this card has the ability, if your opponent's monster attacks and at the start of the damage step, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and then target a level 8 fiend monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but its effects are negated. And if you do, change the attack target to it and perform damage calculation. Now the card you're usually summoning off this card's ability is your copy of your Cursed Necrofear, which is an amazing card to be able to just summon out to your side of the field using this card's ability. This card also recycles itself, which is super cool, is if it's a level 8 fiend monster is sent to the graveyard while this card's in the graveyard, you can add this card back to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Dark Spirit of Malice. Dark Spirit of Malice is also a great 2-of in the build. You only need 2 of each of the Dark Spirit cards, but this card is pretty much the same exact card, but it has the ability that when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the grave, target a level 8 fiend monster in the grave, and special summon it, but its effects are negated, which is a pretty cool ability to basically get your copy of Cursed Necrofear back on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld. Tour Guide is the best normal summon in the entire deck, because this card gets us an additional level 3 monster out on our side of the field, so we can make a rank 3 play. We then play a single copy of Doomdog. Doomdog is great in this deck as 1-of, and is our main tour guide target that we're going to be using, because this card has the ability, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a level 8 fiend monster from your deck to your hand, which can be your copy of your Dark Necrofear, your copy of Cursed Necrofear, or your copy of Abominable Unchained Soul, which we do play also as a 1-of spicy tech card. This card is searchable in the deck, but it's really good as a 1-of because it does destroy cards on the field, and it's just a really awesome boss monster to close out games. We then play 3 copies of Battle Fader. Battle Fader is really good just in case we don't have any monsters on our side of the field. This card can protect our life points, plus it does banish itself when it leaves the field, which is super easy for our copy of Cursed Necrofear to recycle it. We then play 2 copies of Lava Golem. Lava Golem is searchable in the deck as well, which is amazing because you can search a lot of your level 8 fiend monsters off your copy of Dark Spirit Mastery, which is just so cool to be able to do, which is why I bumped Lava Golem down to 2, because you can search it off of Dark Spirit Mastery when you need it, and it's just a really good card to be able to tribute over your opponent's monsters and basically burn them for 1,000 every turn. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is really important as a one-of in the deck, so you want to use this card to be able to get to your copy of Dark Sanctuary. We then play a really spicy tech card that I absolutely love, and it's going to be a single copy of Ghostrict Shot. Ghostrict Shot is really cool in this deck because it helps us make a copy of F-Zero to protect our life points, because this card is a monster reborn for our Ghostrict card, which is just so cool to be able to do, and I absolutely love it because it's so easy to summon out your copy of your Utopic Future, because all you basically have to do is make a copy of Alucard, overlay it with a copy of Angel of Mischief, detach your copy of Alucard, it'll go to the grave, search out your copy of Ghostrict Shot off of Angel of Mischief, bring it back to your side of the field, overlay here, and then overlay both of these just like this into your copy of Utopic Future, throw it in defense. It cannot be destroyed by battle, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it's just such a cool boss monster to be able to make in this deck, and I absolutely love how easy it is with just by playing the one-of copy of Ghostrict Shot it is to be able to pull off the copy of Utopic Future, to be able to give yourself a little bit of protection to make sure your copy of Destiny board is going to go off. The deck really needed something like that, and I've been working on this for a while to be able to figure out exactly what I wanted to do to get a monster on my side of the field that could get protected, which the copy of F-Zero is the perfect card to be able to put on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Instant Fusion and 2 copies of Ready Fusion. These cards are really good in the deck to be able to just get us additional level 3s on our side of the field, so we can make a copy of Alucard and then step from Alucard into Angel of Mischief and do our F-Zero play. This is just really the reason we play these in the deck, but you can use your copy of Instant Fusion to summon out other cards, which is super cool. We then play 3 copies of Dark Spirit's Mastery. Dark Spirit's Mastery is an amazing 3-of in the deck. This card is to let you discard a card to add a Destiny board or a level 8 Fiend monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a really cool ability because we can search a bunch of different cards off this card's ability, and it's like playing additional copies of Destiny board so we can get to that card so we can win the game. You can also manage this card in the graveyard, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, to place any number of Destiny board and or Spirit Message cards with different names from your hand or graveyard on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then draw the same number of cards. So if your opponent does deal with your copy of Destiny board, you can recycle it and recycle the Spirit Messages so you can attempt to do it again, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness is really good as a 3-of in the deck, just to dig into the deck, plus we play a bunch of dark monsters in this deck. We then play 3 copies of one of my favorite field spells ever created, and that's going to be 3 copies of Dark Sanctuary. This card looks so cool. It's one of my favorite artworks in the entire game, but this card is amazing because if a Spirit Message card would be placed on the field with Destiny board, you can special summon it as a null monster that's a Fiend type Dark level 1, 0 attack, 0 defense instead. And if you do, it's unaffected by card effects except Destiny board, and it cannot be targeted for attacks, but it does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. And when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can toss a coin, and if the result is heads, negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the current attack of that monster your opponent controls, which is great to do burden damage against your opponent and also give you a little bit of protection so you can get your copy of Destiny board to go off. We then play a single copy of each of these Spirit Messages, starting with Spirit Message I, 1 copy of Spirit Message N, 1 copy of Spirit Message A, and a single copy of Spirit Message L. You want to play 1 copy of each. You need no more than you only need 1 copy of each of these cards. You don't want to play any more than a single copy because these cards are basically just in the deck to use to be able to go off with Destiny board. They are bricks. You do not want to see them in your hand. You want to be able to grab them with your copy of Destiny board, and it's just really important to play these cards in the build at 1 each. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Destiny board. This card is an amazing 2-of in the build and just helps out a lot to be able to go off for our win condition. This card is the ability to win this card, and all 4 Spirit Message cards with different names are placed on your field. You automatically win the duel. It also has the ability once per turn during your opponent's end phase, place 1 Spirit Message card from your hand or deck in your spell and trap card zone face up in the proper order of I, N, A, and L to spell out final. And when any spirit message card or destiny board you control leaves the field, send all spirit message cards and destiny board you control to the graveyard, instantly turning the entire play off, which is a big disappointment, but it's insane to be able to pull off because it's very easy to be able to pull off in this particular build. Is once you activate this card, if your opponent doesn't deal with it, you're going to win the game. We then play 2 copies of Sentence of Doom. Sentence of Doom is a really cool 2-of in the deck, and I absolutely love this card. It lets you target any number of Fiend monsters that are banished or in the graveyard up to the number of Destiny board and or Spirit Message cards you control and add them to your hand. And you also send this card in from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard to place 1 Spirit Message card from your hand, deck, or graveyard in your spell and trap card zone, and it is treated as being placed by Destiny board just to speed up the process so you can get Destiny board to go off faster. We then play 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment is really good in the deck just to give you a little bit of protection for your copy of your Destiny board. And it's really important to be able to protect your copy of Destiny board, which is why I'm playing this card as a 3-of in the build, just to make sure that it goes off. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start with a single copy of Ghostrict Alucard. You could play 2 of this if you wanted to, but I feel like 1 is all you need. You're usually never activating its effect. You're making this card, and then once you make this card, you're overlaying a copy of one of our 2 Angel of Mischiefs on top. Once you overlay your copy of Angel of Mischief on top, you're going to detach a copy off of one of your 2 copies of Angel of Mischief to be able to grab Ghostrict Shot from your deck to your hand, activate Ghostrict Shot, bring back the Alucard to your side of the field, make the second copy of your Angel of Mischief, and then overlay both of them to be able to make a copy of F-Zero, and then immediately overlay for a copy of Utopic Draco Future. It's really important to be able to do this because your copy of Utopic Draco Future has the ability that it is a negate, which is really cool. It can have you destroy a battle by card effects, so you can throw this card in defense position to give you protection for your life points while you're trying to pull Destiny board off. And once per opponent's turn, or once when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can detach a material from this card to negate the effect of that monster on the field. And if it's on the field, you get to gain control of it, which is super cool because this card is a monster negate. I love that about this card, and that just negates any monster effect, and if the monster is on the field, you do get to take control of it, which is just so cool to be able to do. And it's really amazing just to protect your life points. I was trying to come up with a boss monster you could put on your side of the field that would be able to be not destroyed by battle or by card effects, and this was the perfect one to be able to use with Tour Guide and Instant and Ready Fusion because it's so easy to make rank 3s in this build, and plus it works with your copies of your Dark Spirits, which is amazing. And this card is just so easy to put on your side of the field to be able to protect your life points. You can play a single copy of Breaksword. Breaksword's just really good to be able to pop cards on the field. You can play a single copy of Stone King Darius. This card is just really good as well to be able to step into another boss monster, your copy of your Devicer King. You play a single copy of Bamboozling Gossip Shadow. This card is a walking negate, which is why I play this card as a 1-of in the deck. It's really good to be able to use because once per turn, when an opponent's monster effect is activated, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials on this card and negate the effect, and the effect becomes both players draw a card, which can be really helpful for us to be able to use in this build. Plus, it really looks like it would go in Dark Sanctuary, which is why I play this card as a 1-of. We can play a single copy of Downer Magician so we can have a bigger copy of Zeus just in case we need to. 1 copy of Devicer King. Devicer King is just really good to be able to make on top of our copy of Stone King, which is just really nice. 1 copy of Zeus just in case we need to board wipe. 1 copy of Typhon. In playtesting, this card came up all the time. It's a card you always want to make when you have your copies of your Dark Sanctuary on your side of the field, because this card is going to help you basically lock down your opponent, which is just really nice. 1 copy of Flame Ghost. You can play any level 3 monster you can summon off of any ready or instant fusion, but I feel like this one worked the best with the deck because it looks like it would go with the deck. Plus it's a zombie. You know, it's really cool. It looks like one of the Dark Spirits, which is really cool, which is why I use this one. But you can use any one of the ones that you want that's a level 3 normal fusion monster to be able to use in this deck. It doesn't really matter. But so I just used this one because I had it and it looked like basically one of the Dark Spirits, which is why I thought it would look really cool with the deck. Play a single copy of Millenniumized Restrict. Millenniumized Restrict is great because this card gives you a little bit of protection just in case you need to off of instant fusion. And then finally, play a single copy of Linkuriboh. Linkuriboh is really good in the deck as one of. is you make this card on top of your copy of your Millennium Eyes if you need to basically during the turn that you activate Instant Fusion. Once you've used that copy of Millennium Eyes, you just turn it into a Link Rebo to give yourself a little bit of battle protection, which is really cool. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have not played a Destiny board Dark Necrofear deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's super fun, especially with all the spicy tech cards I've included in this build for you guys, because it's just super fun to be able to play. This deck is really awesome and it's really cool. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.